Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I will be showing you guys how to use Orchestrator APIs with the help of this following link. This link contains all the endpoints. I will mention this link in the description. All we have to do is, using Postman application, we have to create an environment in it with the following variables mentioned and its values. To get the values, all we have to do is log in into our Orchestrator and get the required values. After logging into your Orchestrator, click on the admin panel on the left hand side. Here you can see all the tenants available in this particular Orchestrator. Click the arrowhead to expand. Now click on the cloud icon to get all the required keys. As you can see, we get user key, account logical name, tenant logical name and client ID. Now open your Postman application and create an environment. We can create an environment by clicking create an environment button on the home page, or by clicking on the I symbol and adding the environment. You can name your environment anything you want. Fill up the environment with the required variables and its values. Here you can see I have created an environment named Orchestrator API demo and filled it with the variables and its appropriate values. For the values, I have copy pasted the values from the Orchestrator. Now I have closed the environment. Make sure you change the variable, make sure you change the environment. Now we are ready to go. Now create a request by clicking create a request, or you can simply click plus by adding a tab. Going back to the documentation, they have provided us a guide how to run a process. Since I am using the community version of UiPath, I will be using cloud users only. To run a bot using APIs, we need to authenticate the user, then get the release key of that particular process and the robot ID where the bot will be run, and then only we can start that particular job. To authenticate the user, simply copy paste the given URL into the Postman application. So here I will be creating a new request by create a request button, or by simply creating a new tab. Make sure to change this method to post. Copy paste the URL, as this is the post method. Now we have to do is headers and body. X UiPath tenant name header will be in all API calls. Headers. To get the value of X UiPath tenant name, we can get the value from Orchestrator. Simply copy the tenant logical name and paste it here. And in body, we need to paste this particular thing. And in body, click on raw and then JSON and simply paste. We do not need to provide client ID and user key, as we have already specified it in our environment, that is Orchestrator API demo. Also, by doing this, a header named content type is automatically generated, that is application JSON. Now we can simply send this request and it will give us the required access token. As we can see, we have got the access token. This access token will be required in further API calls. Now simply create one more request to get the release key of that particular project. Copy paste the bearer token For the authorization, choose bearer token type and paste it over here. There you go. Now to get the release key, we can get the release key by name or by get all. For some reason I am unable to get release key by name, so we will be using get all. Again copy paste. We do not need to change the method as it is a get. We have already mentioned the authorization, and in headers we need to create a tenant name. I will simply copy paste it from here. We do not need to mention any body. Now send this request. Okay, before sending the request, as you can see the URL, placeholder URL, we have already mentioned the URL in our variable send. It returns us all the processes available in Orchestrator. So I have around 4 processes. So I'll be running testing webhook, this particular process. So to run this process, I need this key of this particular process. So I'll create one more request, that is to get all the robot IDs. Switching back to get all robot IDs, there is a method over here. Click on it. It is similar to what we have done in to get the release keys. Simply copy paste. Do not change the method. Authorization type will be bearer token. It will automatically generate the token. In headers we need to mention the X tenant name, which we can get from here. And we do not need to mention any body. Simply send. Here we get the response with all the computers or all the machines connected to that particular orchestrator. I have total 3. So I'll be using the last machine, which is home laptop. So we need to get the ID of this laptop, that is here. Here it is the ID of the laptop. Now the last part is to run the bot. Before running the bot, I would like to show you how to check if the process is linked or not. Simply search UiPath agent or UiPath assistant. As you can see, there is testing webhook available. I'll simply show you what it does. There it is. Okay. Now the final step is to start the job. Going back to the documentation. To start a job, we can start job or start job with inputs. Since my job has no inputs, I'll simply use start job method. The method is post. Simply click copy paste the endpoint. Make sure to change the post. Authorization is bearer token. we get it automatically. In headers, we need to change it to, we need to add the tenant name, which we can do it from here. Simply copy paste. Okay, now in body we need to add all the required details. This is the body. As you can see, there is in headers we can see X UiPath organization unit ID, which is folder ID. As I mentioned earlier, it is optional. We don't need to mention it over here. I'll simply copy paste the body, raw, and then JSON. There you go. Make sure to change the release key and the robot ID. Now, to get the release key, we have previously sent a request. This is the release key. I'll simply copy paste. And for the robot ID, this is the robot ID. The strategy is specific. If you want to know what is strategy, you can see it over here. Strategy can have three fields, that is specific, the process will run on specific sets of robot whose IDs are indicated in the robot IDs. Jobs count, that is how much time it needs to be run, and all, that means the process will run on all the robots. It is quite simple. So we don't need to make any changes over here. Now just let me check if I have added the okay, the content type is automatically generated and authorization is also done. Let's hope it runs. As you can see, the 201 is created, status is 201, and here's the bot, it's running. So that's all. Okay, before going, I can show you one last thing, that is, if you want to use some other language than this, you can simply change the language, which is, suppose you are using C#, you can use this C# and it automatically generates all the code. So this is very useful. Thank you. If you like the video, if you think this video was useful to you, please like and comment, and make sure you subscribe for further educational videos. Thank you and bye.